world that we live in today, as individuals and as a society, we are faced with an incredible amount of problems. Problems like excessive drinking, overeating, drugs, violence, and most of these problems are fueled by insecurities, anxieties, and depression. It seems like as a society we're not doing anything about these problems. In fact, society sometimes fuels these problems. On my travels, I was told that the best way to heal oneself is through meditation. It was a bit of a mystery to me. I figured the best person to speak to about meditation would be a monk. So I went to the BSV Buddhist Centre to talk to monk Jag.
I first got into meditation just before, during my university years, and that was when I was around about 26. I think there are things in life that you always seek to improve about yourself. And certainly with meditation, it allows you to see more deeply into some of the issues that you might have. And everybody's got issues. Whether you're too busy or whether you're lazy, whether you're have various interests that you want to pursue but you can't for some reason and you can't deal with that. You want to be somewhere else rather than where you are. So meditation allows you to have that quietness of the mind in which to survey the territory, to have a better understanding, the territory being the territory of the mind, to understand why do I react this way to certain things in my life.
I decided that I would also need a professional's advice, so I went to see a psychologist and the founder of Mindful Moments, Teresa Sheedy.
I've always done some sort of meditation from when I was young, and then I was also, funnily enough, a personal trainer, and I used to take my class through a relaxation meditation at the end of that class. So it's always been a part of me, and I've done yoga for many years. But actually in therapy was when I did a course called Acceptance and Commitment Therapy, and they use mindfulness as one of the strategies of that therapeutic approach. And that just opened me up to, wow, I can actually use this with my clients.
I heard about this man named Matthew Young, who was teaching meditation to everyday people in the Botanical Gardens of St Kilda. So I decided to go visit him to see what he had to say about the topic.
I've been teaching meditation for about 12 years.
When you said you'd started 10 years before you actually started teaching it, what drew you to sort of...
Yeah, that was... I was in India, backpacking, and I didn't go to India in order to meditate. A lot of people do, might have heard of people that go and visit these ashrams and spiritual teachers in India. I didn't know anything about all that. And someone said to me, when in India, you must be studying yoga. What? Why?
What I'm actually doing actually contributes to a greater good, not just for myself, but also for others. Like if I clean up my backyard, that it adds to the cleanliness of the environment around me. So in that way, if I look after my mind, I'm also helping other people by not spilling rubbish out onto them. But then there's the positive aspects as well. So when you're happy, then other people around you feel more happy. There's that tendency. Somebody comes into work, they come running in, bouncing with a big smile on their face, a good attitude. It rubs off on people. And then they also feel, a little bit of uplift, a little bit of happiness as a result of that. Meditation itself is about focus. So it's about not paying attention to all of these other random thoughts, or so-called random thoughts, going through your head, and actually placing the awareness on just one thing. For example, in breath meditation, it's just about placing your awareness on the breath. It's a simplification of the mind.
Your mind is going to be drawn to that sound inevitably. It's loud, it's overwhelming. And if you try to sit there going, I am peaceful, I am calm, relax, then you're just fighting with your own mind because that's where your attention's being drawn. Whereas you go, let's listen to that. That's the skillful use of your attention. You're not fighting with the environment around you or within you.
Meditation has a great way to relax the body and heal the heart and the mind, so definitely.
So you personally think that it could cure diseases?
It does. It does slow down. That's some of the research that's coming out now. Whether it cures them, but it does impact on your recovery and it builds immunity. People who meditate get less colds.
Depression and anxiety are not just, but there's certainly an outcome from ineffective, dysfunctional or unskillful ways of relating to your thoughts and your emotions. There's a similar kind of conflict when people are feeling sad or depressed. They're trying to resist and get rid of rather than accept and learn from what they're thinking and feeling. And so meditation teaches them how to relate to those thoughts and feelings in a very different way, to be welcoming them. That makes all the difference to your mental health.
Scientific evidence shows that meditation helps to reduce stress, and it also helps to create focus. Why it should not be taught in schools.
Children nowadays are very much children on the go. They've got highly orchestrated lives. Their parents are just picking them up, taking them here, picking them up, taking them there, and they have very little time of downtime, very little time where they haven't got background noise of TV or radio or music or computers or digital technology. So teaching them to be quiet and to just understand themselves would be really beneficial.
We don't get any training or any education in mental and emotional skills really, other than at the most superficial level. The emphasis is on a whole lot of other disciplines. And like you said, the most important skills are you're just kind of left, you'll just pick that up on the way somehow,
Do you think the world would benefit with meditation if everybody meditated in the morning and at night before they went to bed?
Well, there's a lot of evidence to say that everyone benefits now. We can actually activate different parts of our brain and change the chemistry of our brain by meditation. So there's been a lot of science going into this now that I suppose it's an age-old tradition, but we're now catching up with the Eastern philosophy because we've got science to show that it actually does work.
This program of meditation works with people within prison systems to be more moderate, more patient, more kind with each other, right? And less recidivism, in other words, less chances of reoffending. So if it can work for people who might be considered to be at the harder end of town of violence or crime or unsociable activities, if it can work for them, surely it will work for the moderate person.
Helps people with forgiveness, it helps them with positive emotions, it keeps people focused, it builds community. So there's a whole lot of science now to say that people are better off if they do meditate.
They're essential things. You can't just leave those kind of skills to luck to have a really well-functioning society.
During our lives, evaluate, who am I, what am I doing? What am I? Right? Why am I doing what I'm doing? These are very important questions. If we don't evaluate, we don't learn.
Meditation and mindfulness it's quite a beautiful thing to do, and you tend to see the beauty of connecting with the world. So you see your place in the world as being, it's not so about the ego of what's my role in the world and what's the meaning of life. It's more that we're connected and we're here, and by being connected means that we treat people differently.
Solutions to the big problems in this world aren't outside, but they're inside the mind. That's where the problems start and finish.
After meeting with all these interesting characters and getting their view on meditation, it occurred to me that meditation is a powerful tool, not just for society, but also for the individual who uses it. So I guess now it's up to us to go out and see just how powerful meditation is. Because if we can change our lives, then we can certainly change society and the world to make this place a better place.